Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Orlando Stewart back with another video. Now, I said I was going to be coming back with another video, a second video tonight, and here it is. This is the second video for tonight, and this pretty much is going to be talking about the future plans that I have for the channel. Um, now, now, now you guys know I have reviewed a lot of 90s stuff on this channel. Well, some things that are 90s and some things that are new. But I also want to go into reviewing things from the 80s. I want to not just focus on the 90s because like every YouTube channel has their channels based around the 90s, and I want to differentiate this channel from other channels. I want to review not only things from the 90s, but I also want to review things from the 80s, and also review some new things like some new movies. I'm not talking about those crappy movies, the non-superhero movies. I will be reviewing like current superhero movies as well, but I also want to focus on keep it retro as well. And I want to keep it more retro because that's what this channel is all about, the 80s and 90s. So I'm going to be also reviewing things from the 80s, like such as things like Ghostbusters, TV shows from the 80s that I might try to find on DVD and stuff like that. I am going to start working on getting some Ghostbusters memorabilia into my collection and stuff like that. And I might do some I might review some things from the 70s as well. Now, I was going to do some game reviews, but unfortunately, as of late, that's another reason why I haven't been doing any videos as of late, because I have been dealing with a lot of flooding. Kansas City has been getting a lot of rain, got a lot of rain last month, and the basement has been flooded, I think, 6 times already. Or 7 times, I'm not sure. But I lost the majority of my games, my game console, my TV, my VCR. I lost both of my Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64. I had plans to review Spider-Man 64 for everyone, but unfortunately that's not going to happen because my consoles were destroyed. And I'm working on getting another console this year. Working on getting another console next year. I'm planning on getting a Super Nintendo. So I can review Super Nintendo games for you guys, and also I was planning to get Nintendo as well. I'm gonna also review games from the 80s as well, like some classic games from the 80s and some bad ones, the ones that you guys have seen on Angry Video Game Nerd. I will be reviewing. I might review those, and I might also review things from the 70s. So I want to not just focus on the 90s, but I also want to go into the 80s, 70s, and 80s as well. Review things from 70s and 80s. So pretty much that's the future plans that's going to be happening with the channel soon. And also, I want to talk about something that before I end this video on a short note. I heard from one of my friends. They told me that Toys R Us may be closing its doors officially. When I heard about that, I said, "Oh my, is Toys R Us doing that bad?" Now, those of you that grew up in the 80s and 90s, like I did, I was more in the 90s, but those of you that grew up in the 80s as well, no, Toys R Us was a very huge part of our childhood. And they could be I heard they're filing for bankruptcy. So This is not good. KB Toys, remember, had closed back in 2009, mainly because Toys R Us brought them. But I don't want to see Toys R Us go. I grew up with Toys R Us. That's where I got majority of my toys from. From Toys R Us. I grew up going to both Toys R Us and KB Toys. So, like, I really don't want to see them close their doors, because they're like the last big retail toy store in America right now at this point in time. So that's really sad. So I'm going to leave you guys with the classic, iconic, those of you that remember the commercial from back in the 80s, those of you that grew up in the 80s and 90s remember the classic "I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid" commercial. And remember to live life, live nostalgia. Don't forget to like my videos. And definitely don't forget to subscribe. Peace. I am out.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You